Welcome to TransformHer, the show where audacity sparks and barriers crumble. Our mission on this show is to equip African women on their journey to leadership in the C-suite or as entrepreneurs. I'm your transformative guide, Ifoma Williams. We'll be right back after this short break. Today, we unpack the journey of a Nigerian garment industry powerhouse, Mrs. Sola BabaTunde. Trust me, we have many insightful stories, and she has many insightful stories to tell you about her journey of resilience, of strategy, and innovation in the Nigerian garment industry. Mrs. BabaTunde, you are most welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So what I want to hear is your story as well as advice for aspiring entrepreneurs. So as creative director of OSC and with your extensive knowledge in the garment or fashion manufacturing business, what key strategies would you advise a young entrepreneur coming into this industry to adopt?
The very first thing is knowledge. Get knowledge, get knowledge, get knowledge. Don't feel, oh, I'll just employ other people to do it. A lot of young people have that misconception that, oh, I'll just employ somebody. You have to be the powerhouse of the knowledge. You must be skilled. You don't necessarily have to be the one sitting down to sew, but you must know everything about your business. So I'm a pattern maker. I can sew. There's nothing I can't sew. I can do both manual pattern making. I can do computer-aided pattern making. I know production management. I've been everywhere there is to learn. I've been to China, India. I've been to Egypt, Mauritius, the UK, the US, everywhere that they do garment manufacturing. Because it's very, very different from fashion. It's different from tailoring. It's different from couture or made to measure, which is usually the misconception here. Most people tend to think, oh, you're a fashion designer, so you can measure me and make my clothes. So that's not what we do. We do the ready-to-wear, just like how you can walk into, say, Zara, Primark, or whatever, and pick up an outfit and it's your size. That's what we do. So we're the China. So we say no more China. Don't go to China or India anymore, or Bangladesh. Come to OSC right here in Nigeria.
Fantastic. This is something that we need to dwell on, right? Because we're speaking about empowering the African woman. And if somebody is saying to me, music to my ears, that here in Nigeria, Nigerians and Africans can come to OSC and manufacture different designs in large quantities and start your own ready-to-wear line. Okay, so the difference now is, do you want to be a garment manufacturer, or are you a fashion business where somebody manufactures your garments for you and then you deal with the retailing of the product? And it's good we draw that distinction, because a lot of the times these things are fused. And the first point to note is get knowledge. I don't want anything to slip on this very exciting episode. Now I want you to reveal your battle scars, because there must be many.
Okay, so my journey started years ago when I, as a Christian, I looked into why was I created, and I took time to pray. I wanted to know why I'm good with my hands. How come anything I see, I never forget? So just make sure you don't do it in front of me. Anything I see, I literally do not forget it. So I took time out to pray, and I asked God, what did you create me for? And after many, serious prayers, I had a dream. I was showing, and I saw myself that I was teaching in a very large factory. I was teaching a lot of people how to sew, how to do different things that I could do naturally. But what was shocking was that I was teaching a young girl in hijab how to sew. And
Wow.
I asked the man showing me around, and I said, how come I'm teaching her how to sew? And he said, when you wake up, you're going to learn. So I woke up. I always have a book by my bed. I wrote down everything I saw in the dream. I resigned from work.
You resigned?
I resigned from work, and I went to learn how to sew.
But hold the thought. You're still on this journey. But you resigned.
Yes.
Let me pry a little bit. Was it a lucrative job?
Yes, it was actually a job that I really loved. I used to work for an NGO. I had worked there and volunteered there, and then they had retained me. So as a young person, it was good that I didn't have to carry CVs everywhere in Lagos or in Nigeria, and I already had a good job. Who would close early was really good. I know if I had stayed on, I would have even been promoted. But this is something I saw was a mission, my calling, and I just knew that I had to pursue it.
So when you resigned, had you put money aside to be able to do this?
Well, the truth of the matter is no. I only started with one single machine I had inherited from my late mom. My mom was not she used to work in an oil company, National Oil, but back then I think all the mothers had one Singer sewing machine, the one that they wind with their hand to sew. She used to just make her buba or something at her own leisure at home. And back then I didn't even take any interest in when she used to make the clothes. She just used to call me to thread the needle for her, and I run off. But I had that when she died. She died when I was 18 years old, and I just knew that I had to go learn. So after learning, there was a woman who had 30 fabrics waiting for me, because everybody already knew that I'm the go-to person to style you. I'm the one to say, oh, don't combine it that way, or bring it out, turn, an old jeans into something new, even right through school. I'm the one shaping your eyebrows. I'm the one doing your hair. I'm the one, I think I even won an award for best dressed in
I can see
school.
the spunk. It's there.
So,
Definitely.
but I never knew that it was going to be my business, because I studied banking and finance. The bank was already eyeing me like, this is where you're definitely going to go into the marketing department and all that. But I just knew it wasn't for me. I have to go through what God really created me for. And it's been a fantastic journey. Battle scars, many, but even the successes are far, far more rewarding. The impact, I've trained over 5,000 Nigerians.
Wow,
Yes,
impressive.
yes. And that's directly, and indirectly, even maybe about 15,000. I go to places, I hear people say, oh my God, you trained me or my wife. You've helped my wife to be even a better wife. At home, she manages money better. Her business is doing better. So it's far more rewarding, and we're able to even offer pastoral care to those who are with us. So maybe a staff has an issue at home, I'm able to be there to offer counseling, and then we pay well, and we train them very, very well. So even when they leave us and go elsewhere, they are managers, they are the production managers. So we've been able to create a new, like the value chain in Nigeria has been able to develop for the fashion industry, that, you don't just have to only be a tailor or a sewing machine operator. You can be the quality control manager, you can be the supervisor, you can be the production manager, and even if you're in a good company, you can eventually be the creative director. So there's a roadmap, a proper career map that has been charted because of what OSC has to offer. And of course, we've produced for quite a lot of people, even those outside the country. I remember years ago, there was a designer who was going for New York Fashion Week, and that's when Ankara was just booming. So she found us, contacted us through the association, and came. We produced our items for her because she had complained that China had turned a lot of the motifs upside down. They didn't understand the Ankara print. So we produced for her, she showcased, and a lot of people internationally were shocked that she was able to, make those clothes in Nigeria. So we have both international and local clients that we've produced for.
That's impressive. There's something you said that's remarkable, and it reminds me of the words of one of my new favorite songs, which says that the number of my scars are the number of my victory. So you spoke about how you have had battle scars, but you have had recorded successes like the one you just shared. What I would like for you to do is give one practical insight that'll disabuse a myth, right, for an upcoming entrepreneur. Okay. So tell us as it is. No fluff. Yes. I really want for entrepreneurs to understand and hear from somebody who I can call a powerhouse, as I called you before, in the Nigerian garment industry. So for fashion designers or people who want to do what you do, what do they need to know that they have deceptively been told otherwise?
Okay, so the very first thing is money, finance. So every SME or upcoming feels, oh, I need to have a lot of money. I need to be Dangote's daughter or somebody's wife to have enough money to be able to start a big fashion house. That's a big myth. No, just have your knowledge, have your grit, have your, someone was saying stubbornness, and I said, no, stubbornness sounds negative. You need to make it positive. That the grit to stand and say, no, I'm going to do this. If you have that, you're fine. So keep at it, be consistent, be intentional. You would eventually make a good name that would eventually bring the money. So when I started with one single machine. I would make an outfit. And because people had seen the gift, so that SME has something. You already have something that everybody knows. Start with that. So I started with the knowledge that, okay, I'm fashionable, so I would design, I could draw, I would sketch the designs, make the outfit, and every single kobo I was paid, I plowed every dime back. I did not buy human hair. I did not buy jewelry gold. I did not buy Ashwebi. I still do not buy Ashwebi. My family didn't know. I don't do all the things that other women. So people are buying a latest Gucci bag. I'm not buying all that. All my head is thinking about the next sewing machine. So I plowed back every dime. I can save for Africa. I've taken 100 naira to the bank before, and the bankers were looking at me like, you're saving, you're feeling a teller to bank 100 naira. I'm like, yes, I kept paying that 100 naira till it was 8,005, and I bought the next machine. That's how I bought every single machine that I had before the one you saw in our bigger factory. So start with that. Be diligent, be hardworking. Don't wait to feel that someone is coming to save you. Like I say, nobody's coming to save you. You're the one to save yourself. And God has given you something. Start with that. And then the money will come. So every single outfit we make, each time it will always bring us a referral. So be good at what you do. Spend time, attention to detail. Make sure you're different from every other designer or fashion. Pick something. Don't go on Pinterest and everywhere and just copy designs. Sit down and think through it. And then you will be shocked at how big it will become eventually.
So what I like is the fact that on this show, we sort of distill, if you like, words that are very insightful. You've used the word discipline. Entrepreneurs, leaders at home, this is a point that we really do need to note. Once, one of my mentors said a young man came to him for capital, and that he looked at the boy's watch, he looked at the boy's shoes and his belt, and he said to him, "You are wearing your capital." Mm-hmm. So you just heard from this powerhouse how she was disciplined enough to save 100 naira until it became 8,500 naira. This means 100 naira in 10 places is 1,000 naira. Mm-hmm. She did it 85 times. Diligence, right? Until she bought another sewing machine. So it means she stayed the course. It means that there is something to be said for investing in yourself and believing that you have to stay the course. Another word that you used was grit. And I like the fact that you just highlighted what this myth, you busted this myth, which is that if you don't have capital, you can't be successful. If you have all the money in the world, but you have the wrong manners and characteristics for running a business, it will fail. I agree with you, actually, that capital is not the first consideration for business. In my opinion, it's having the right team.
Yes.
And having the right people.
I'll get to that.
Yes. But I like the fact that you said knowledge and grit.
Yes.
Right? Above capital. So that's one myth busted. We'll be right back after this short break for more insights. Welcome back. We've been speaking to Mrs. Sola BabaTunde. I like to describe her as Nigeria's garment manufacturing powerhouse. I want to take you back to your factory. There was so much that I saw and too many questions to ask you. Well, we only have 30 minutes, but so I saw how you sort of, how the factory was set up. And I started thinking, is it that when people graduate, they work in a particular part of the factory first? So they start out with smaller things and then they graduate to doing more difficult. I just want to understand how this works.
So the setup you saw is called lean manufacturing process.
Okay.
The factory is set up in a very lean way where
Okay.
there will be no working around. The sewing machine operators will not have to stand up to give the next step to the next person. They are all seated right beside and in front of each other. So you just pass on. So it's not one person that will finish a garment. So a different person will do the shoulders, another person will attach the sleeve, and another person will sew the sides. Someone else will finish the hem, another person will iron.
Okay.
So the factory's eye is arranged according to that flow
Okay.
of the processes. So you're timed based on the working hours in a day. We calculate all that. So it's the tax time. We use it's a lot of technical terms, which I don't want to be bringing our jargons here, but however, you have to understand the takt time, the sewing allowed time, and do the process mapping for the production. So we know how many each person must produce. So if you're to attach the shoulder, we know how many shoulders you should attach by the close of work.
So how do you ensure maintenance of these ethical practices, and what advice would you give to entrepreneurs to ensure that they standardize and maintain the right ethics?
Okay. So it starts by doing that yourself. So in our factory, we were very strict with every single staff. They all understand the standards and what is expected. We don't ever compromise or go below what is expected. They all understand the SOPs for every single garment. And also we train and train and train. It's inculcated into our curriculum, so all the students understand. So when we're now observing you as a staff, you already even know the standards.
You are running a tight ship and you're not doing it by yourself. Just tell us, as a leader, particularly in a tedious industry, how you have managed your team.
The truth is, it is just by God. You know, even while coming here, I spent almost an hour trying to explain to our manager that you have to prioritize, this is what is important. So a lot of times I pray for every single one of my staff, the ones I can remember their names. I pray for everyone, and then I teach. You know, I'm a teacher by nature. I have to explain, I have to be patient, come from their side, from their own end. I have to explain the vision to them in their own language. So I don't use big words and say, oh, value stream map, SOP, and all those things. No, I come down to their level. If I even need to speak Yoruba, Pidgin, sometimes I crack jokes that you teach me your language, Igbo, and I will explain to you. So I take my time to explain to them why the standards is of importance, why they have to do the right thing. You just keep training and training. So over time, you would also learn how to hire the right people. Now, having said that, there's a scientific method of selecting garment workers. So I thank God I went to India. I learned that there, and I have the kit. We developed a kit. It's called the Lasso Kit. We use that to select who to hire. So you think it's a game. You play the game, and then we know the results and know that, okay, that one is not for us. This is for us. So there's a natural ability in everybody to be in each department. Okay. So you might be horrible at sewing, but you're a great pattern maker. And unfortunately, there is no school teaching all these things in Nigeria.
Well, you're here now, but given the time we have left, it's very important that I ask you about the future. So in one fell swoop, I want you to tell us what's the future for Nigeria? And at the same time, as you're looking to the future, right, I want you to, what would you say to your younger self?
So the future to Nigeria is very bright. This is the time to get up and own it. This is time to arise. Everybody's looking at Africa. Nigeria is strategically positioned to take the market and show that made in Africa is luxurious, made in Africa is great, made in Africa is of good quality. We're very creative and hardworking people. We just need to, direct and harness what we have. And then what will I say to my younger self? I would say, go out there. The world is big. Don't think small. Think big. Really dream big. Don't reduce. Don't fall into the trap of, oh, I'm a woman, I can't do this. It's just go and take over the territories. They're waiting for you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. You've heard it all. It's been most insightful. My one takeout from this conversation is what she spoke about her vision and sharing it with her team. And because she wanted to inculcate precision, given what she does, they need to be precise. But she shared the vision painstakingly with her team. So much you can glean from this episode. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles and particularly our website, where you can go and download resources pertaining to this industry, to Mrs. BabaTunde and her leadership. If you want to be like her, just go to our website. Okay. Stay tuned for more insightful and empowering content with our next segment, our coaching segment. Welcome to this coaching segment of TransformHer. On this segment, we are still on the topic of resilience and flexibility. This topic is inexhaustive because it is very important as a leader in entrepreneurship or on your way to the C-suite to possess these qualities. And today, we'll be looking at the application in high-pressure industries, navigating challenges with resilience and flexibility. I have chosen the case study of Indra Nooyi, who was the former CEO of PepsiCo from 2006 until 2018. And she's renowned for her leadership style that combined both resilience and flexibility. Now, this period where she was CEO marked significant challenges and transformation in the business world globally. And so what were the challenges that Nooyi faced when she took the helm at Pepsi? Changing consumer preferences towards healthier products and a need for a more globally integrated operation. So what did she do? We're going to look at how she adopted resilience and flexibility. So she had strategies for both. As far as resilience is concerned, the first thing she did was product diversification. She recognized the shift in consumer trends and she reorientated Pepsi's product portfolio towards healthier options. She championed the Performance with Purpose initiative, where she focused on more nutritious products, reducing environmental impact, as well as empowering people. Point to note, empowering people as she did all of this. Because I tell you something, as a leader, you must realize that your desks, chairs, and products don't make your organization or offering. Your people do. The second resilient strategy that she adopted was global expansion. Nooyi led PepsiCo's expansion, particularly into Asia and the Middle East. She understood the importance of adapting products to local tastes as well as cultures. And so she led the successful global integration of Pepsi. As far as flexibility is concerned, her cultural sensitivity. Nooyi's leadership was marked by her understanding of cultural nuances. She navigated different market demands by tailoring strategies to local contexts. Still on flexibility, she was innovative in her mindset. She encouraged innovation with PepsiCo, leading to the development of new products and marketing strategies that resonated with the changing consumer landscape. And so what outcomes did we record whilst Nooyi was the leader, the CEO at PepsiCo? PepsiCo's revenue grew significantly. The company became a leader in the global food and beverage industry with a diversified product line and a stronger international presence. And so what would you say the lessons we've learned from her flexible and resilient leadership style were? Some of those lessons are adaptability in strategy, Now, adaptability is a word that can replace flexibility. It means that Nooyi's ability to pivot the company's focus towards healthier products in response to changing market demands were key. Secondly, her cultural intelligence. She understood and respected cultural differences, which played a crucial role in PepsiCo's global success. Now, I must point out this key word, respect. Remember, as leaders, whether as an entrepreneur or on your way to the C-suite or sat in the C-suite, respect is key for your teams, but most importantly, for your customers. Finally, one important lesson is innovation as a leadership trait. She encouraged a culture of innovation and risk-taking, which led to sustainable growth as well as competitive advantage for PepsiCo. I came to the conclusion, and I hope you agree with me, that Indra Nooyi's journey at PepsiCo exemplifies how resilience and flexibility in leadership can not only navigate complex business challenges, but can make you a global player. Her forward-thinking approach, adaptability, and cultural sensitivity offer valuable lessons for leaders in just about any industry. Until next time, it's been a pleasure hosting you on this segment.